Welcome back to Why You Love ROCOR. This will be the last and final episode of Why You Love ROCOR. It's not the last episode of the show, but we have to change the name of the show. And I'll explain why and what happened. I spoke to a priest this weekend about why he loves ROCOR. He's a ROCOR priest, someone who I thought for sure this person loves ROCOR. There's no doubt about it. But when I asked him why he loves ROCOR, he said that he doesn't love ROCOR. I was very shocked by that. And he went on to say that I don't love ROCOR. I love the church. And I love Christ. You can imagine how my entire world came crashing down on my head at that very moment. Because here I thought that we were onto something here. We had this really great show about why you love ROCOR, etc., etc. What's the problem with asking people why they love ROCOR? The problem, very simply, is this. Christ established the church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Christ doesn't say that he established ROCOR, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Don't get me wrong. I really do love ROCOR. The problem is that I love ROCOR and I like Christ. In one of our first episodes, we played a recording of St. John of Shanghai and San Francisco. And I could tell you right now that I love ROCOR more than St. John did. You might be asking yourself, how could I say that? It's very simple. For me, ROCOR's here. And then the tradition, the Church Slavonic, all these wonderful things that I love ROCOR are here. And Christ is somewhere here, maybe even lower. For people like St. John, for people like Brother Jose Munoz Cortez, Christ was here. And everything else was after it. I don't know Christ. I don't. So I can't do a show about why you love Christ or why I love Christ, why anyone loves Christ, because I don't know him. I very much want to know him, but the fact remains that I do not. However, the people that I've spoken to, the stories that we will be sharing with you, will and should ultimately lead to Christ. If they don't, then something is very, very wrong with this show. This show is not about saying, Ya Zorobieżnik. I don't even know how to translate Zorobieżnik. ROCORite, I guess. That's something that I've always felt that I was. Ya Zorobieżnik. Me, I am ROCOR. What? What? Wow. If I didn't have this conversation with this priest this weekend, I would have taken you down a very, very wrong path that would not lead to Christ. In fact, it would only lead to divide us from Christ. Because I kept asking you why you love ROCOR, trying to get you to look at all of these superficial things. I don't know how long ROCOR will exist. I don't know if ROCOR is going to be here in another 100 years. But I can tell you what I do know for a fact. That Jesus Christ will be here Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Once again, I do not know him, but I know that he is the Son of God, who came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief. I know that for a fact. I have to admit that part of the reason I'm doing this show is for my own kids. I speak to my children only in Russian. I will not communicate with them in English because for me that is important, that they speak Russian. It is important for me that they be in ROCOR. But the problem is that that was the most important thing for me. And I realized that at some point I'm going to lose that battle. My children will probably not speak very good Russian one day. I certainly hope they do, but they probably won't. And then I started asking myself, well, what will happen if my children are not in ROCOR? Will I like them any less? If my children end up in the OCA or the Antiochian Archdiocese, is that really a problem? It shouldn't be. So long as my children know Christ, nothing else matters. And that's why we are changing the name of this show from Why You Love ROCOR to The Faces of ROCOR. Because these people and their stories are helping me know Jesus Christ. And that's the most important thing in the world. Without that, there is no ROCOR. Without that, there is no salvation. But let's look at the Orthodox world around us for a moment, shall we? You would have to be blind not to see that world Orthodoxy is facing a crisis right now. We feel betrayed by some of our brothers and sisters in Christ. You know exactly what I'm talking about. On October 15th, 2018, everything changed. That was the day when the Moscow Patriarchate broke off communion with the Ecumenical Patriarchate. On that day, Father Nectarius Yangson, guardian of the Hawaiian icon, said that if this schism lasts more than a year, it will last for several decades. And that could be difficult to accept, could be difficult to understand. It makes me nervous. I don't like this. I don't like going on my Facebook newsfeed and reading the constant scandals from the Orthodox world and seeing who is going to betray us next, who is going to betray Christ next. But at the same time, everything keeps coming back to the Mother of God. Why? I don't know. Last week I found out something that shook me. Father Nectarius Yangson said that on October 15th, 2018, while he was praying to the Mother of God, his prayer rope snapped in half in his hands. He says that at that moment he knew that the schism had happened. But here's what's interesting. I've been studying photographs of the icon for several weeks now while helping Father Nectarius prepare for a new book that's coming out about the icon. And I started to notice that there's a lot more myrrh all of a sudden. Take a look at the pictures on the screen. These are just a few pictures taken in years past. Now compare them with these pictures that were taken recently. Father Nectarius confirmed to me that since October 15th, 2018, there has been a general increase in myrrh from the Mother of God. When I first heard this, my initial thought was, we're on the right side. ROCOR, Russian Orthodox Church, we have the Mother of God with us. We got this. Everything's going to be okay. Wow. I'm an idiot. Because here's the problem. I was too focused on the myrrh. And I missed what was right in front of my face. Look at the icon of the Mother of God. Don't look at the myrrh. Look at her hand. Where is she pointing? To Christ. She is pointing to Christ. There's the answer. It doesn't matter how long this schism lasts. And it doesn't matter if you're in ROCOR or not. The only thing that matters is Jesus Christ. Today I'd like to share a video with you that was taken last week on November 9th, 2019, when the Hawaiian icon was brought to our parish. And the first place she went was our parish school. And this is what Father Nectarius Yankson had to say to a group of children. And I have to admit that although this was intended for children, I have not heard a more powerful message about the Mother of God. And that's when I realized that my understanding of the faith and of the church is about the same level as a child. But I'd like to share this with you because I hope that Father Nectarius's words will move you. I hope that they will move you as much as they have moved me. Please listen to every single word that he says very carefully, because in his words is the answer to why the Mother of God is with us.
Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. I just came from Hawaii, which was an 11-hour flight, and just landed a couple of hours ago, and we served the Holy Liturgy this morning. And from there, we came straight here to see all the children, just in time, actually. We walked into the building just as the bell rang. You know, they always say that when the Mother of God is greeted, she should always be greeted with two things, flowers and bells. Like a bishop, almost. Why do we do that? We receive the Mother of God with love, like we would our own family member, our own mother, someone we love deeply. The Mother of God has given us so much throughout these many, many, many years. And not just this century, but the centuries in the past. For the past 1,000 years, for the past 2,000 years, the Mother of God has been with us. How do we know this? Many times, a special manifestation is given to us. A special gift, a sign that God allows, that God blesses, and it is usually a manifestation or an icon of the Mother of God. In this instance, it is an icon that literally perspires or exudes this holy oil, this myrrh. Why? Why do you think she does this? Does anyone know? Anyone have a guess? She does this because she loves us. throughout history, there have been very few of these. But they do exist. And right now you're seeing one of very few in the world that's recognized by the church as a genuine miracle. And we are given this gift specifically because she loves us, because God loves us, because God is guiding us. God is encouraging us to be better Orthodox Christians, to become closer to Him. So He directs us with His mother. It's always difficult to be angry with your mother. It's always difficult to be angry. When we're angry at God, He sends His mother to warm our hearts. So in this instance, it is not just the fragrance of roses, but something that soothes us, and that is the holy myrrh, which is like an oil. Christ said, when you fast, put a little oil on your face, wash your face, so that you don't look like you're fasting. In other words, to take it within your soul and your heart, to be humble, not to be arrogant and like a Pharisee or something. No cheeseburgers. I have to have fish and vegetables, right? No, we fast quietly. No, thank you. So little things we do as Orthodox Christians that help us grow. Saying an extra prayer for your mommy and your daddy tonight. Later, we're going to give you an icon, okay? On the back of the icon, tonight, I want you all to promise me something. Tonight, read that prayer. And read it for your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your grandma, your grandfather, your priests, the ones you love, and even the ones who may pick on you and you may not like so much. Say a prayer for them as well. Read that prayer just once. You promise me you'll do that? Okay, good. It's not a very long prayer. It's very short. And it is a call to the Mother of God to help us, because we need her help. And whenever you are struggling, whenever you're a little angry, ask the Mother of God and say, please help me with this. And she'll help you, okay? I promise. I have seen it hundreds and thousands of times where the Mother of God comes and she helps people. She never forgets us. That's why we love her, because she loves us. And it was a promise that Jesus gave on the cross when He said, not only to the beloved disciple, St. John, but He said to all of us, behold your mother, behold your son. He was giving us His mother as a gift to the world, as an intercessor, someone who stands before the throne of God and prays for each and every one of us. But we have to ask. We have to ask, okay? So tonight, read that prayer and ask the Mother of God to help you. All right?
You know, we always like to say that the Mother of God is leading ROCOR. The Kursk icon is the guide, the protectress of ROCOR. But there's something I never asked myself. Where is she leading us? And the answer is very simple. The Mother of God can only lead to one place. She leads us to her Son, Jesus Christ. What does it say on the back of that icon that Father Nectarius is talking about? It's a troparion to the Iveron icon of the Theotokos, specifically to the Hawaiian icon. And again, I have to admit that I've never really paid attention to this troparion because I would always sing the general troparion to the Iveron icon. But this is a bit different. I'd like to read it to you. From thy holy icon, O Lady Theotokos, blessed myrrh has flowed abundantly. Thou hast thereby consoled those in exile, faithful unto thee, and has enlightened the unbelievers by thy Son's light. Therefore, O Lady, with tears we bow down to thee. be merciful to us in the hour of judgment, lest having received thy mercy, we be punished as those who have been contemptuous of it. But grant us through thy prayers to bring forth spiritual fruit and save our souls. If you do not have a copy of this icon, if you do not have a copy of this prayer, please write to us. The information is on the screen right now. We'll be more than happy to send you a copy of this icon and perhaps a little bit of myrrh, providing that we have enough left, which I think we do.